the way, we should let people know that Andres, who is I think 25% of our listeners, is actually now working on the show. So he's actually screwing us. There's less people working.
What a dick.
He doesn't count.
He's ruining our...
There's also this guy that stands in the corner that's working on the show.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually have a cameraman and a producer now.
I mean, this is crazy. We're still in a basement, though.
Still in a basement, and you're still wearing a beanie.
And a jacket inside.
It's 100 degrees outside there. You know that, right?
I'm worse. Why don't you look at the guy who wears pants outside?
That's your friend. You brought the cameraman.
Ugliest shorts.
He's a cameraman. They're supposed to do this sort of thing. They chase bears.
You're so Arlington.
Wow, we have completely lost track of the show.
No, we're not on track.
No, you're not.
But
so,
if you go back to the PKs, Hope Solo stops one of the PKs. That's a best case scenario that you can hope for. You hope that your keeper can stop one, and she does her part, and the kick takers do not do their part, with the exception of Abby, and that's where the U.S. lost the match right there. They couldn't put them away.
Hope didn't make a save, did she?
Yeah, she stopped the second or third. She stopped the third.
She didn't stop it. She missed. The girl missed.
Yeah, the girl missed.
The girl missed.
She didn't stop it.
She stopped it.
And then she almost blocked the second.
She almost.
Right.
She got her hands on it and
got one
had too much pace.
Yeah, that's what I was. She didn't stop any of them.
She stopped them.
So
with her hotness.
No.
So she is hot.
She's not as hot as Alice Morgan or Ali Krieger, though.
That is true.
But either way, you know, it was a frustrating PK. It's something that nobody expected. You did not expect the U.S. to miss its first three. And by the time they missed the third one, you knew it was over. Because Japan might have missed one, but I wouldn't have bet against it, and I certainly wouldn't have bet against them missing two. So, it's tough. It's the worst way to end, and it's brought up a lot of controversy. A lot of people want to say that PKs is not the right way to end soccer games.
But would you say that the U.S. Choked? Like everybody has been shying away from
I'm glad
from mainstream media.
Yeah, that's the problem I've really had. I have a hard time saying the U.S. choked, because choking to me would be them losing 3-0 in the final.
Or doing what Germany does, get blown out 2-0, or get blown out by Japan.
Right.
Because they got outplayed in that game, flat out.
Yeah, they did.
And the U.S. did not get outplayed by Japan.
But
they got caught.
But what happened? Yeah, the U.S. got caught a couple times, and I will say, I can understand people saying that they choked because they got complacent.
I don't want to say they got caught because the U.S. them not being able to finish in the first 20 minutes, that's not really getting caught. That happens. You want those attempts. They're not going to go in always, but you want to get those quality attempts. So it's not really getting caught. Then once Japan came into the second half, they're playing their style of ball because they were playing pretty much all defensive the first half. And then when they came back in the second half, it was pretty much all-out attack, all-out possession.
But it was all-out, but at the same point, it was equally complacent defending, because both times the U.S. scored, there was, and that's normal, but it was noticeable less intensity on the field after they scored.
Yeah,
and
which doesn't usually happen in.
And you're playing a dangerous game. You're playing the Italian dangerous game without the ability to play the defense the way Italians do, which is allowing the team. It's always, in my opinion, a bad idea to allow a team possession in your half of the field.
Always.
And that is what the U.S. was doing. Was after they scored, especially that second one, they thought they had 6 minutes left. They thought they were good.
But
it was
Japan
everybody
plays
11
a counterattack. That just.
But they didn't have to counterattack. The U.S. didn't even have the ball. The only time they'd have the ball was they'd kick it up to Alex Morgan, and she might get her foot on it or not. But I know I'm not saying that the U.S. I don't want to take anything away from Japan. Japan won that game, and they won the hell out of that game. I mean, that is the way you win a game.
Fantastic tournament.
In the biggest game of their lives, they played their best possible game. So I'm not mad about that. But what I am mad about is what Jerry was hitting at, which is for the first 4 days, people were afraid to say anything wrong about the U.S. team and the loss. Take away the fact that it was the greatest game ever when they beat Brazil, and then suddenly penalties are the worst thing ever when they lose to Japan. That alone pissed me off and shows the amateur nature of the average.
But that's
viewer
part
of
of the way the U.S. goes about it, because they don't want to discourage like new fans from actually watching the matches, actually supporting the U.S. by saying they choked. And I think that's why they actually went away. Because the question was posed on everything that I saw on one of the TV channels that starts with an E. Did the U.S. choke? Yeah. It was asked on every single one of the questions, and everybody just said No, they didn't choke. They just shied away from it.
Yeah.
They may have choked a little bit because, like, for me, watching Hope Solo, she is usually your rock. She is. I struggle to say this because I don't really think she's the best player on the team, but as a keeper, she's your best opportunity that the U.S. has had that I've seen since I've been watching soccer. And she's just back there solid. And for me, in the last 2 matches, it looked like she had happy feet. Like she was just a little tentative. Like
she was a little too excited. And it was like misdirected energy is, I think, kind of what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Which is like she was confident, rah-rah, but there were like not confident moves to stop the ball and not like coming out the right moments. You know, little things. And you can't blame her for the goal that Sawa scored.
I wonder how much of that has to do with the injuries that she was dealing with her shoulder.
That or
did you see her knee? Her knee was
Yeah,
huge.
her knee is jacked up.
She banged that up.
But that, and I mean, I think it's the euphoria of Brazil. It's having to play
Yeah.
another game after Brazil. It's then, it's that Brazil game just came too early. It took
It's
so
like the
much
Super
out
Bowl
of it.
letdown.
Yeah,
the next.
and Japan didn't have to go through games like that. I mean, that Germany game was a grind for them.
They,
but
they went through some tough games.
They did.
Japan did not.
They
come
weren't
through
supposed to
easy.
win any of the last 3 games.
Yeah.
But it's
Japan,
something to be said.
Sweden,
Yeah.
the U.S. Come on.
It's the same reason when like you watch a team play Argentina, and I know I'm partial to them, but you watch a team. Donovan said this. It was when they had to chase around Messi for 90 minutes. It wore the entire team out, and they struggled in their subsequent game. I think it was that chasing Marta around because they had to play team defense.
And chasing France around.
Chasing France too.
fantastic.
Oh,
and
yeah.
fast as shit.
Yeah,
too.
France was a great matchup, and so, but if the guys had lost the same way, there's less expectations on the guys because we know we're not the best in the world, whereas the U.S. was ranked #1 in women's. But the guys, they got sympathy, and people were proud of their way they won the games they did in the World Cup. But the true soccer fans were disappointed with losing to Ghana.
Like
Yeah, and you can't lose to Ghana 2 times in a row. And I mean, let's be honest, Ghana's great, and they've got some talent, but the U.S. should beat Ghana.
Well,
At
the
least
U.S.
with
should
the
beat
roster they
Ghana,
had.
but Kingston, and I stand by this, Kingston had an outstanding
He
World
always
Cup.
does. He plays very well against us.
Okay, so, what we're going to do right here is, before, you want to give us your final thoughts on the U.S. soccer, and I mean, just anything going forward, or what you were upset about?
I'm excited about where U.S. soccer is going. I think it's developing. I'm excited, actually, that women's soccer is developing into a competitive situation. Japan gets to its first ever quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals, and wins it. And soccer is starting to come along, and I'm excited about that. What I am not excited about are the scrubbing-ass fans in the U.S. that decide all of a sudden that they're U.S. soccer fans and show up and piss me off in bars.
Yes.
You say that you're supporting
Ruin
America.
our time.
You're full of shit. You want other people to see you to pretend like you're supporting America. You want to support America, sit at home, tune it in on your own TV. That way they get greater ratings, and
Right.
you know that they're actually watching, and you don't have to go out and make a show yourself. You're cocksuckers. I hate you.
You were the same people that were the attention-seeking whores that went out to the White House when Bin Laden was killed.
Exactly. And
So,
you're twats.
Yeah, you're a fair-weather USA fans. And I don't expect people to follow soccer because, let's be honest, from a true soccer fan like us here, soccer can be effing confusing. There's 200 countries that have leagues. So
I'm actually really excited about U.S. soccer, and even getting the douchebag fans. I'm happy about that because it does give you more ratings. It makes it more relevant in the United States. And I just realized this last week that you have the World Cup. The next year you have the Women's World Cup. The year following that you have
Olympics.
the Olympics.
Yeah.
And there is going to be no letdown now that it's hit mainstream media because the U.S. is going to compete in all those tournaments. So it just gives me like greater excitement for U.S. soccer and where U.S. soccer is going because we have some good young talent out there.
Oh, we absolutely do. Yeah.
And if we can start poaching like 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds like the rest of the world.
Which the soccer academy is starting to do, and we're starting to pull some players from other people. Aguadalo is a Mexican.
Yeah.
Who we pulled on the team. Hercules Gomez of Hispanic descent. And Josie Altidore was Haitian. So we're actually starting to get the players that migrate from other places. So maybe eventually we'll get some of the Brazilian cast-offs, and they'll become U.S. nationals. So somebody
And
like a
we'll
Fred
have
can't get on the
very,
roster.
very relevant teams, and we won't have people like
Dude.
Giuseppe Rossi.
Dude, we're going to get Hulk. We're going to get Hulk because he's Brazilian and he never sniffs the Brazilian leagues. We need Hulk. Change nationalities, Hulk. Do it. Hulk.
All
And
right,
your name
so
is awesome.
we're going to get out of here because we're running a little long, but we do want to cover one thing with the Copa America. There's one of the most fantastical calls we've ever heard in any sport. Now,
Is this the Colombia getting eliminated from the Copa America?
no.
Screw you,
This is-
buddy.
What?
Yeah, our producer is Colombian.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Uh-huh.
With no ties to any sort of cartel.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What we are going to do is, we're hopefully our new producer has brought up the Spanish audio. We don't know yet, because it's just like Albert in different respects. He refuses to check stuff before. So, either way,
At least he's interested in this.
this is the greatest call ever, and we will translate it for you afterwards, because you're probably not going to laugh unless you understand Spanish, but afterwards, Delp will give you the explanation of what has been said.
Arranca el ano. Frente a Justo Villar. Le va a pegar, momento de tensión. Perfila con la derecha. El ano patea. Así. Feísimo el ano. Espantoso el ano. Horrible el ano. O lo que es lo mismo, Hugo. La voló el ano.
Qué manera tan mala de golpear el balón. Ahí el nerviosismo, el temor y hasta el miedo creo que invadió a él.
What's really great about it is that he hits the worst penalty shot you'll ever hear. And Spanish announcers who are notoriously sexist, racist, funny, whatever you want to throw in there.
They're over the top in all respects.
Yeah, there is no FCC in Mexico as far as I can tell. But what he says is, after he misses it, his name is Elano, which translates to
the anus.
Okay.
El ano.
So, Doug, what is the call?
I can't even say it.
All right, here we go.
Fire it up.
What the call is after he misses: horrible ass, or horrible a-hole,
Yeah.
horrific a-hole, ugly a-hole, and under the same guy's smelly a-hole. That is the call that he says when he misses the PK, which is one of the most fantastic calls I've ever heard.
It
in my life.
is the best ever. There has never been a call better than that
So-
ever in the history of sports.
On that note, hopefully we can get Andres to play it one more time, and then he's going to take us out, and we're going to come back in the second segment, and we're going to discuss a little NFL lockout.
Little Oddkast.
Please don't fall asleep on us.
Oddkast.
Arranca el ano. Frente a Justo Villar. Le va a pegar, momento de tensión. Perfila con la derecha. El ano patea. Así. Feísimo el ano. Espantoso el ano. Horrible el ano. O lo que es lo mismo, Hugo. La voló el ano.